Good morning, everybody. May 31st, 2018, 6:02 a.m. All right, we missed yesterday, but we're back today. You're checking out the remnants, the remaining moisture of Alberto, our cyclone Alberto that began down in the South Caribbean, made its way all the way up into the Midwest, all the way to the Great Lakes, and you could see it here just passing the border into Canada as it made its through basically Indiana. It moved up through touched Ohio and then Michigan, and now making its way out to Canada. So very interesting storm, made it all the way through the U.S. into Canada. Check out this big storm that just completely exploded over Kansas, Oklahoma, and then moved across the top of Texas into Arkansas, Missouri. Just a huge storm out of nowhere. It's actually producing some county by county situations. We got flood warnings and severe thunderstorm watches in Oklahoma. Story of the day, though, goes to what we may be seeing in the next 10 days. We have a major hurricane possibly being forming sooner than later, I want to say. June 10th is about the date where we begin to see this thing. We can already see the wave of it. You could see a wave here, and you could see a second wave that's coming off the west coast of Africa. Now, this thing may be starting down in the South Caribbean as well as Alberto. This would be Hurricane BERYL. B-E-R-Y-L. So we'll figure out the pronunciation on that. We could see the spinning here from Alberto, and then we could begin to see this wave right here. And if we look at the FE3 GFS chart, we can see by June 10th, we see something pretty significant pop up in the Caribbean here. You're going to watch down in this area right here. There's the 9th, and there's the 10th, and right by the 11th, see the top of it there, 980 or 998 at that point. As we move forward in time, though, this thing wants to pass over Cuba. Again, a lot of time in between now and then. A lot can change. This chart was fairly reliable with the formation of Alberto, so we're going to check it out for our letter B as well. And you could see by the time we get to the 16th, we have a significant hurricane in the Gulf. So again, a lot of time for things to change. Definitely worth reporting, though. If we zoom out a little bit, we could see 969 would be our pressure by the 16th. Very significant hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico. And then if we back out here, we can kind of see that wave actually does come from the west coast of Africa. It could be that low pressure being stirred up by some of the moisture being sent this way, or it could actually be forming down there on its own. Not quite sure yet. It's hard to tell. You can see the low popping up and down. And then just around the same time we get to our tropical wave, which is right around here, we could start seeing that pop up right in this area. That's why we use this mimic chart here. You're going to start seeing these waves coming off of the west coast of Africa a lot through the Cape Verde Islands, a little anomaly there. And then you'll be able to see our hurricanes roll off as they circle around the Bermuda high pressure in the Atlantic Ocean. Hawaii, guys, Hawaii is still going crazy. Big earthquake overnight last night, 5.3, 5.4, I believe, right at Kilauea volcano. 3 minutes ago, as early that they're updating this, guys. So there's more evacuations going on, more eruptions going on, a lot of significant earthquakes. So things are seeming to get worse rather than better. You can see here with your own eyes, this is just the last couple hours of volcanoes moving inland a little bit to the north. We got a couple over to the west of the big grouping here. The red is current, and the square there is actually an eruption. So they measure eruptions. I'm not sure where the 5.3 or 2 is, but I know it was recent, basically. For those of you that are following this closely, I'm sure you know about it. Big 5.0 earthquake right by Kilauea volcano. And also, some news on Hurricane Maria from last year. Studies are now saying more than 4,500 people were killed in Puerto Rico and not 60-something like they said. Why they're choosing to release this info now, your guess is as good as mine, maybe because it's hurricane season and it's just a topic now. Hurricane Maria killed at least 70 times more people on Puerto Rico than the island's government listed in its official death toll of 64 people. How do you mess that up? How do you mess up 64 people or 4,500? That is just unbelievable to me. I'm glad they finally got around to admitting that, or at least giving the correct numbers. You can see here how that changes the death toll for that year. Changes all the stats, basically. So that's a pretty decent story. I saw that here on weather.com. Study thousands of Americans killed, not 64. And then Alberto tropical cyclone, you could see as it made its way up through Michigan, right at the bottom of the Great Lakes a few hours ago. We looked at our possible hurricane popping up in the Gulf. We also have a Pacific low that we need to watch. But as far as U.S. weather goes today, fairly calm, a little wet in the northeast. Like I said, we look at that big storm that blew up right over the north part of Texas and then moved its way into Oklahoma and Kansas. Very big storm, probably a big hail producer. Any of you that live in this part of the country, Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, maybe want to tell us about how this storm was for you. Any pictures, video, anything like that. We could see the northwest of the country's get a little bit of moisture that's going to move west to east. And again, we say goodbye to Alberto and possibly hello within a week and a half to BERYL, or however we're going to pronounce this name. It's going to be interesting to figure out the pronunciation on that. But that's what we got for today, guys. Sorry I missed yesterday. Everything's all good. They are doing a lot of Hawaii updates. For those of you that are home today, keep an eye on that. Our biggest warning areas of the day would be over Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, right in this circle area. Our tornado is minimal. Wind, yes, pretty high winds today, moving west to east again. That has to do with the upflow from Alberto, and then we have that moisture moving in from the northwest down across the Great Lakes, and then we got to keep an eye on the Gulf, guys. So that's what we got for today. I will be back this afternoon. Time for work, as always. We got Alaska, Hawaii down here. We will talk about Hawaii this afternoon. Everybody have a great day. Enjoy whatever sun you have, unless you're in the northeast. No sun right now. All right, guys, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.